Hello and welcome to this board game overview from Tantrum House. Today's overview is for the game Pengy Pals, Antarctica's Greatest Heroes by South Pole Games. Pengy Pals is a cooperative, dice-rolling combat game. It plays 1 to 4 players that each play as pals. Each pal comes with 2 unique dice that are added to a community dice pool that you'll use during the game. The unique symbols on each dice can create challenging and interesting decision making for you and the other players, but of course, you should be careful. The enemies will use the dice that you choose to instantly react. This game is headed to Kickstarter, so this particular video I won't be giving my personal opinion. I want to make sure that if you feel like the game's right for you, that you support the creators and the designers and the artists and go ahead and back the game. I do want to give you an in-depth look, though, at the game so that way you know exactly what to expect if you think this game's right for you. So, in this video, we're going to discuss table presence and theme, overall appearance, gameplay, age appropriateness, a general game overview. We'll look at the characters, the powers, all sorts of things. So let's start by talking about table presence, theme, and age appropriateness. Now this game is listed for ages 14 plus, and you may be thinking what I was when I received the game and saw the art on the outside of the game box. It made it seem to me like it might be geared for a younger crowd, but don't let that confuse you. I would absolutely confirm for you that you do need a moderately competent game player because some of the interactions and ongoing powers from some of the pals can get a little bit complicated if you're not of that age. So I agree with them. Now, once the game's on the table, it has a big table presence. There are some components in the game that when you acquire them, they're going to act like ongoing abilities. And so you'll need those cards face up in front of you to remember to activate them or to remember what the ability is. You also have a personal player board that represents your pal, a deck of cards particular to that pal as well. Of course, the bad guy needs their own area on your playing surface as well, and of course it does come with the player aid, and so that way you can keep track of exactly what you're doing on your turn and during a round. So here's what the game looks like all set up. Overall, the theme matches the gameplay. The gameplay matches the table presence, and the art, the characters, and the abilities match the age appropriateness and back and forth and so on. The real meat of the game is in the player powers and the bad guys. There are 3 bad guys to choose from in the game, and each, of course, is different in their own way. Not only different when it comes to counterattacks or abilities, but also different in the way that you eliminate them and ultimately win the game. The 3 unique enemies create challenges and new ways to play the game as you play more than one session, which can make the game not just about combat. There are unique win conditions like securing resources or surviving a killer whale attack that change the objective, which of course changes the strategy for that particular game. The pals or players, of course, take on the role for each of the 4 unique penguin superheroes. Each penguin comes with a unique action cards, like we mentioned earlier, unique dice, unique abilities. So as you get to know the penguins, you may choose your favorite playstyle, your favorite pal, and discover that that pal contributes to the game a little bit differently than the next one. Here at Tantrum House, we had the opportunity to play the game at a full player count. So not only was it interesting to see each particular pal come into their own role, but it was interesting to see that sometimes the healer was needed to deliver the elimination blow just because of previous events that happened in the game. The most cooperative portion of the game comes at the end of the enemy phase, when the pals and penguins need to eat. And what I'm trying to tell you is that there are fish in the game that contribute to a community fish storage. And the tough part about this is that you have to eat the fish to perform the abilities during the game. But then at the end of the player combat enemy phase, you still have to have enough fish to keep your pals fed or take damage and potentially be out of the game. You can get a full play of this game done in about 45 to 90 minutes or so, just depending on your player count and which bad guy you want to take on. If you think Pengy Pals is the game for you, then I absolutely urge you to check out their Kickstarter, and you can get more information there. I want to give a big shout out to South Pole Games as well for allowing us to take an early look at the game. Thanks again for joining us here at Tantrum House. Like I mentioned, Pengy Pals is going to Kickstarter. So if it's your type of game, you've got to head over there and check them out. Of course, if you like our videos and want to hear more from us, then like and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.